Hello everybody, this is Jose Betancourt from the Talking. Hello everyone, I'm Jose Betancourt from TalkingAboutGames.com and the Post Game Report podcast, which you can find on iTunes. And as always, thank you for viewing my videos. Today I want to talk about why I'm not going to purchase the iPad Pro. What you're looking at on the screen right now, it's an iPad Air 2, which I bought sometime last year. I've been extremely satisfied, really happy with it. I have the 128 gigabyte model, Wi-Fi version of course, and I have no complaints. This device does everything I need it to do, and that is why I'm not picking up an iPad Pro. The iPad Pro, I messed around with it for a while. It's a magnificent device, enormous. It has an enormous screen, a lot of power. But as you can see right here, I have thousands upon thousands. I have about 8,000 images or photos in my iPad Pro, and I still have a little more than half of storage available to me. Not only that, but I have movies and videos. So I have a lot of media in this device, and I have a lot of extra space to spare. I can read my emails, I can do internet browsing, watch, all Showtime, Netflix, YouTube, you name it. And of course, I have books. I have the Apple Music, which I can use on this device as well, on the Apple iPad Air 2. Let's get this guy out of here. How do I get him out of here? Anyway, because I don't want you guys thinking I like Justin Bieber, even though there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not my type of music. But back to the iPad Air 2. It's a great book reader. It has so many different applications. It's not even funny. So many different games. I have a bunch of games, even though I haven't been gaming on this device. But when it comes to a tablet that gives me some flexibility to edit videos, edit audio with GarageBand that comes in here. There's Lightroom, which I can use to edit photos. And let's not forget that built in, you have a photo editor straight out of the box when you purchase an Apple device, whether it's an iPhone, iPad, or iPad Pro. The iPad Pro, in my opinion, you need the pencil and you need the keyboard. Now you could buy a third-party keyboard from Logitech, and I'm sure in a few months there's going to be an abundance of third-party support for the iPad Pro. But at the moment, unless I'm getting the pencil, unless I am going to, draw architectural designs, I'm not a great artist. Granted, it would be great. I have big hands. I can grip the iPad Air 2 with one hand and use it as a reader. I do it all the time. The Pro is no joke. The thing is a monster in a good way. It has a monster screen, and underneath, as far as power, it is an extremely powerful machine. My biggest problem, is that it's running the same operating system as my iPad Air Pro, as the iPad Mini, as the iPhone 6, etc., etc. That does nothing. It does nothing to distinguish it from the rest of the Apple ecosystem. Had it ran, let's say, Mountain Lion or the new operating system that is currently out, and I do apologize for not remembering the operating system that is available on a Mac or a MacBook Pro. But if there was the capability of doing that on the iPad Pro, remember this is an iPad Air 2 that you're looking at, I would have bought it. I would have definitely bought it. Let's see if I can go to some games. Look at some games. I have my Xbox app, my PlayStation app. and some really cool games. My wife loves Candy Crush. And believe me, yes, it's my wife who loves Candy Crush, not me. But it, I'm not really disappointed that I can't buy the iPad Pro. I know that might sound a little arrogant, and at the end, it's a luxury item. I was really hoping that I would be able to find a good use for it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that the iPad Air 2 is preventing me from purchasing an iPad Pro. And that is just a testament to how good the iPad Air 2 is. From what I'm hearing, the iPad Mini 4 is really freaking good. Excuse the language. But I'm hearing that if you're in the market for, excuse me, a smaller iPad, and if you have the money to spare, forget about the 3, go with the iPad Air 4. I mean the iPad Mini 4. It's just too many iterations of the iPad name. So excuse me for the mistakes. You're going to get a magnificent screen. Very, I believe it might even be a little better than the iPad Air 2. And this screen is fantastic. Images look sharp, crisp. I mean, all the fine little PR words you want to think of to describe a great image, it's all here in the iPad Air 2. Even the iPad Air, the first one. So it really doesn't matter when you compare the two. But here's an image I took yesterday. This is from Batman Arkham Knight, excuse me. And I took it with my D7100, which I'm recording this video with. And as you can see, the image looks really freaking awesome. I do apologize about the noise in the background. There's construction and all kind of craziness happening. But I just wanted to zoom in so you can get an idea of how beautiful the iPad Air 2, the screen on the iPad Air 2 really is. And on the, I believe the iPad Mini 3, but the iPad Mini 4 really has a screen that rivals, and some say even beats, I guess from a technical standpoint or whatever, the iPad Pro. So the confusing thing for me is that the Pro name next to iPad. When you look at the Surface Pro, which I have the first Surface Pro. That has keyboard capability, it has a USB, so I can plug in any type of USB keyboard and mouse, and it has expandable memory. The iPad Pro has neither of those, and you have to buy a proprietary keyboard. The pencil, I hear, is much better than anything currently. Well, not currently, but some say it's more responsive than the pen that comes with the Surface Pro or the Surface Pro 4, 2, 3, and 4. So that's a good thing, but that costs you an extra $99. So that's how I'm feeling right now when thinking about the iPad Pro. But as you can see here, everything's responsive. I'm moving around with no issues. Some of these are images I took. This one I took with my phone. This one with my D7100, as I stated. And as you can see, when I zoom in, I'm still getting a great picture because this screen is remarkable. It's a Retina display. Beautiful screen. So if you're in doubt and you think that you absolutely need to get the iPad Pro, unless you're a graphic designer or you're going to utilize that pencil every day and you need a keyboard with your iPad, then it might be the iPad for you. I was really close to getting one, and I decided against it. I decided that, as you can see, look at I have this screen actually. Let me see if I can show you. It's not even at full brightness. I don't even have this screen at full brightness. So, and you're seeing really good quality as far as my images are concerned. And this is in Houston Street in New York City. someone else taking a photograph, and I took a photograph of them taking a photograph of somebody else. So as you can tell, I'm from New York City. So look at these colors. You know, yeah, some of this is edited with Lightroom, but it's representing the vibrant colors without any issues. So that is my personal advice. That is why I'm not picking up an iPad Pro. That doesn't mean it's not a great machine. It certainly is. But at a starting price at $799 for only 32 gigabytes, it just pales in comparison at the moment to my 128 gigabyte iPad Air 2. Now, once again, if it gives me the capability of running full-blown desktop applications or programs, forget applications, programs, then I would pick it up in a heartbeat. But anyway, as always, I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me know if you picked up an iPad Pro or if you have an iPad Air 2. Leave your feedback in the comment section, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.